All right, guys. So here on November 16th, 2021, I'm going back through all of the days that I missed because of moving and not having access to the internet. And we are on the last catch-up day here. So we are going to be talking about Monday, November 15th here. So that was just yesterday from the perspective of when I'm making these videos. And this was kind of the first day after we moved into the apartment and cleaned out, or sorry, moved into the house and cleaned out the apartment and actually cleaned the apartment and felt kind of like we were done with the process of moving. So this was kind of day one in our new living circumstances here. And so the day before on Sunday, we had spent most of the day there cleaning out the apartment, polishing everything, getting it ready for the move out inspection from the rental office there. Also set up the new router. That was the other big thing that happened. Was much happier with the speeds given that I'm further away in the new house, and it was a huge difference. Definitely well worth the money. Also organized some books in the living room, set up the treadmill, was happy to see that the noise didn't carry, so I'll be able to walk on it while I work in the master bedroom here. Booked some airline tickets for an upcoming vacation over the holidays and just organized and unpacked more generally. So that was what got done on Sunday, but here on Monday, still yet even more practical matters related to moving. So first thing I did was scheduled a checkout time with the rental office for the apartment. So we gone through the whole process of cleaning it out the day before, and now we needed to schedule the time with the rental office people for our move out inspection. So when they come through and see everything and make sure everything's in good order, and then we sign the paperwork because our lease is up on this upcoming Friday. And so I scheduled the move out for Thursday afternoon. So I also had some questions. I'd left up some curtains in the apartment because I thought maybe the person coming after me would maybe want them. And if they were going to put up a curtain rod of their own, well, why don't they just use the one that I already had up? But I was asking that, hey, I'm willing to leave this. I'll donate it for the next guy, basically. And they said, nope, that's not how it works. You should take everything down. But I had to ask that question, talk to them, and get clarification there. The other thing I did on this Monday, so yesterday, the 15th, was putting felt bottoms on all the furniture, resting on the vinyl plank flooring in the house. So you don't want to scratch the vinyl plank flooring. And for that reason, you don't want any uncovered wood or metal because it has the potential to scratch the floors. So most of the chairs already around the kitchen table had these. A couple of them didn't, and one of them had one of the felt pads that had fallen off. So I put felt pads on all those, put them on the coffee tables, just verified that all the furniture on the vinyl plank flooring has either rubber pads. Now, rubber is not so good for chairs that you want to pull out and push back in because rubber doesn't slide. Now, the felt pads are good because they slide, which means that it's convenient for pulling them out and pushing them in. But the rubber is what I have on the chairs that will eventually be arranged into rows in the living room for viewing the projector screen. Because if you don't want chairs to move, well, then rubber is a great choice. Also doesn't harm the vinyl plank flooring. So I have on the furniture now all of the things to protect the floors here, make sure that they don't get scratched. So that was one of the other things I did. Now, the other primary thing that I did yesterday was I finally finished compressing all of the house walkthrough footage. So it's been a long time. I did the walkthrough before we started moving anything into the house, almost, I guess, a couple weeks back now. But shooting a full hour or so of 4K footage that you then have to compress. I'm compressing it with FFmpeg so that I'm not uploading, 14 gigabyte video files to YouTube. That's a no-go. So compressed, it gets the file size down to under a gigabyte, probably more like 500 megabytes for most of the videos, which still takes a little bit, but definitely not the same order of magnitude there as the actual uncompressed 4K footage. So I compressed everything and I finally got the videos merged through. I had some issues. I was actually going to try to add some title slides. So I had taken some still images in a 4K resolution with titles, and then I was going to use FFmpeg to kind of turn the still image into video footage, setting the frame rate to match the frame rate of the footage that I was doing for a specific duration. I never got it to work. When I was attempting to merge it with the footage that I had off the GoPro, well, I was not getting it to merge well. Now, I also realized that I'd shot all of the outside footage at 24 frames per second, and I shot the inside footage at 30. Now, I shot it at 30 because that is related to the 60 frames, or not frames per second, the 60 hertz that the alternating current power in the United States operates at. And so the lights, so LED lights, fluorescent lights actually have a flicker at 60 hertz. So that's the frequency here. 1/60th of a second is when they flicker. Now, our eyes, the human eye doesn't pick it up. However, the video footage can have artifacts caused by this. And so you want to shoot either at 60 frames per second directly or at 30 frames per second, which is exactly half of 60. So some multiple there of 60. And doing that means that you don't have any of the video problems that you would otherwise have. So long story short, I had some issues combining some of the video files here. I never did figure out how to get the title slides that I'd wanted merged in. Now, of course, you can do it if you have a more like full-fledged video editing program like DaVinci Resolve or Adobe Premiere Pro or things like that. Of course, you can add things like that because they're smart, these tools. But the thing that those things do is they tend to re-render your entire video. And that takes forever. And again, I don't have the beefiest computer. And so I have been actually just straight up concatenating MP4 files with a program called Lossless Cut that's kind of a glorified wrapper for FFmpeg. And it will happily just merge MP4 files without re-render, without re-encoding video. Super, super fast, very convenient. But I kind of decided, you know what, there's no harm in me splitting out all of the house walkthrough stuff into separate videos. Initially, I was going to combine it a little more, but you know what, there's kind of pros and cons. Splitting it out more means it's easier for me to link to specific videos if people aren't interested in everything. So I decided to just leave it for now. Most of the time, when I'm doing product reviews and stuff, I actually won't be shooting in 4K. I'll be shooting in 1080p. And when I'm shooting in 1080p, I can actually use a video capture card as well as the media mod for the GoPro to use it as a webcam directly. And then when I'm using it as a webcam directly, I can have title slides simply by sharing my screen in Zoom, just like I'm doing right now. And so I had ordered all of the things to set that up. I had that, I think, in the daily progress summaries a couple of weeks back. I have all that up now. So really, this is one of the only circumstances when this is going to happen. Also have some 4K footage of me mountain biking where this will be the case as well, but kind of gave up and just said, you know what, not really worth it. I'm sure I could figure it out if I really wanted to hard enough, but I would spend some time. Anyway, the upshot of this, enough of me rambling about this here. The upshot of this was I finally merged all of the house walkthrough footage. So I got everything processed and in the state where I'm ready to upload it. It got kind of late yesterday and I was kind of tired and didn't want to do the rest of the work. So I stopped there, had all the content ready to upload, figuring that I'd get to that just the next day here. And then finally, last thing I did on November 15th, which was yesterday, I had a phone call with a relative, just catching up, visiting. They were curious about the house. We talked about the upcoming visit that I'm going to have with them over the holidays. So, you know, that took a half hour, 45 minutes or whatever of catching up with a relative there. So this was what I got done yesterday on November 15th, kind of the first full day that we were in the house with everything moved and not so much pressing immediate stuff coming for me. So with that, I will pick back up finally for today's daily progress summary, today on the 16th in just a second here.